The deception of the Hebrew Israelites. A lot of the times when people think about Hebrew Israelites, they think about these men that are screaming in the streets that God hates white people and that salvation is only for the black race, that the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans are the true tribes of Israel. But what if I told you that this movement started a long time ago and it was not rooted in racism? In the early 1920s, there was a group called the Black Jews of Harlem. And oftentimes in school, we have learned about the Harlem Renaissance, which is a movement when black people created things, created music, created art. And it was basically a period of golden moments in black history. It was a golden moment in black history. But we do not learn about the Black Jews of Harlem. And basically, if you don't know who they were, those were black people in the 1920s who were connecting their roots to those of the biblical tribes of Israel, and it was not rooted in hatred, but rather rooted in just trying to find identity. And this is something that's not talked about. This movement even started before the 1920s when Nat Turner was trying to explain to the slaves that our condition is in biblical prophecy and that we are a part of the tribes of Israel, as the Holy Ghost had revealed to him. And the Holy Ghost is the one that led him to revolt against slavery. So this movement is not something that just started. This is not just a movement that started with people yelling and screaming. This movement started with a group of people trying to understand their history and trying to understand at a deeper level who they really were. But I'm going to let you guys know what the enemy is doing is that he is planting tares in this movement. He is planting tares because he does not want God's people to wake up. Because when people start to see hatred, when people start to see disrespect, they're not going to want to identify themselves with that type of identity any longer. So there are tares that are being pointed in this movement. I have made several documentaries where I have given historical proof that black people are a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, showing the slave logs, showing where white people themselves during slavery admitted that black people were a part of the tribes of Israel. There was Eluda Equiano, who was an Igbo Jew, who before being captured or after being captured, he wrote a book about his experiences as being a Jew that went into slavery. Those are records like that where they tell you themselves that they were a part of the tribes of Israel. Their names were changed so that you wouldn't see the Hebrew within their names. You know, there's so much evidence, there's so much biblical and historical evidence that ties black people to being a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. And at the same time, I have made much videos explaining that salvation is for all people. But God's people need to wake up because Israel was called to be the light to the nations, to teach the nations righteousness, to teach the nations God's laws, God's commandments. This is what we were meant to do. We were not meant to be spreading hatred. This movement did not originally start with hatred, but as time went on, it began that way because the devil does not want God's people to wake up. The devil has sown tares into the Hebrew Israelite movement, so that way God's people are still left asleep.